Who are you? That's going to be our topic for today. Who are you? That's a hell of a question. Sometimes people ask me that through the years, and it's like, what do you mean, who am I? And most people answer that, I'm Mark Daniels, I'm a contractor, I'm a YouTuber, I'm a writer, I'm an athlete, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a superintendent of a school. Now that's actually what you do. Who are you? Do you know yourself? Know the truth, and it'll set you free. The truth about yourself. But we'll get into that for a short time because I have to go out and run. Right after you like and subscribe, check out my books on Amazon, Coming Back Home, The True Adventure of Mark Daniels and the Power is Within. And I am going to go somewhere in the next couple weeks and try to finish my third book, which is about men and women and how do they function together. At least from my experience and what I've learned from others, their mistakes, my mistakes, their victories, my victories, their failings, my failings. So, here we go. Who are you? That's a big question. And here's the problem. Most people never take time out to figure out who they are. Do you understand what most people do? They're always looking at the president, the governor, their boss, the people around them, the other crazy drivers. They can tell you who they are or what they are, but they can't tell themselves who they are and what they are, because most people never take time to look within. And if you want to relate this to dating and relationships, how many times, and I've done this before too, do you hear your friends or some of your coworkers talking about their wife? She did this, she did that. I don't know how I'm supposed to. She wants to spend all the money. Always she. Well, what about you? How did you put yourself into that situation? Why are you with a person that you're complaining about all the time? What you complain about, you bring about. How did you get yourself there? What is it in you, or who are you, that drew this person to you? Most people think they're a body and they have a soul. I beg to differ. You're a soul or a spirit, or let's say an entity, so we don't connotate religious teachings or lean towards that way, because there are many different types of religions. I'm not sure which one you are. Maybe you're none. Maybe you're atheist or agnostic. That's okay too. The point I'm making here is there's something inside of you. Some people call it the watcher. Who is that in you that says, God, I can't believe you did that again? Who's talking to who? I can't believe you did that again. Or what about when you call yourself stupid? I can't believe you're so stupid. Who's telling you that? That's who you really are. And realize when you say things like that, you're directing yourself to be more of what you don't like. You're not stupid. You're not ignorant. You're not a wretched sinner. Now, the word sin means to miss the mark. It comes from an Anglo-Saxon term which was used in archery, when you missed the bullseye, when you missed the mark. Now, there's truth in every big lie. We truly are born a sinner, okay? Which means a person that's going to make mistakes. And that's okay. It doesn't mean you're wretched, you're going to go to hell, you're terrible, you need a savior. What you need is to learn by your mistakes. And you do need guidance from someone, from people who are wiser than you, And that's one of the reasons I started this channel, because I see a lot of the youth nowadays have no mentors, no leaders. What makes me qualified to lead? All the sins I've made in my life, all the mistakes I've made in my life. I've learned from those mistakes. Some of them I made over and over and over again. Some of them I continue to make today, but I gain progress from every time I make the same stupid, if you want to call it that, some people do, I don't believe it is, mistake over and over and over again. If you take the word blame out of your vocabulary and realize that you're responsible for everything that happens to you, because it's the I am, the who you are, that is making these things come to pass. So, I believe, so you can learn valuable lessons about you. No, not about everybody else, not about how stupid or ignorant everybody else is, but about yourself. What I learn about myself. Sometimes I don't understand some of the things I do because they bring me, how do I say, discomfort or even suffering or pain. But what I've learned in life is this: out of every season of suffering or grief or pain, I come out on the other side with new lessons, new wisdoms I've learned about life. And I believe it's my responsibility, as well as yours, to pass that on once you learn that to other people. Otherwise, we would all go blindly through life, never learning anything. We would never evolve as a race. We would still be back in the caves, thinking that the sun was some kind of a god circling around the earth, and that's what kept us alive. Actually, it does keep us alive, and I could see why someone would think it was a god. A god can be anything that you worship. It can be alcohol, it can be drugs, it can be women, it could be the Almighty, it could be work, it could be money. I've had many gods in my life, but I never had a god that took care of me, that I knew of. But I believe that God lives within each of us. Now, some religious people may think, oh, you think you're God? That's not what I'm saying. I gotta sit sideways here. That's not what I'm saying, but in a way it is what I'm saying. If God is all in all, as some people believe, like I said, I don't want to get off on religion here, then he's in me, he's in you, he's in everything. Or it, if you like, is in everything. This power, this divinity, this energy. A lot of people like to think of it as energy. I don't know what it is, but I don't believe it's an old man up in the heavens taking notes and saying, hey, Mark did this, I'm going to punish him. Mark did that, I'm going to reward him. If there is a God, and I believe there is something, then wouldn't it be foolish to believe that we could describe it if we say it's all powerful, all knowing? How could we describe it with our limited vocabulary? We couldn't. But what man has done throughout history is tried to describe it the best he could with the vocabulary and the tools that he had. And many times they described it as this anthropomorphic God, angry, punishing, jealous, vengeful. I just don't quite want to buy into that if God is all-powerful, omnipotent, knows everything, I can make him jealous or angry? I don't think so. But I do believe there are certain laws, certain universal laws, that if you don't follow, such as gravity, if you jump off the roof, you're going to hit the ground, whether you believe in it or not. And it's the same way as you reap what you sow, karma, what goes around comes around. These are laws that people have spoken about for thousands of years. And for some reason, we don't seem to pay attention to them, but yet they work just the same as the sun comes up in the morning and goes down in the evening. Sometimes there are clouds. We can't see the sun, but we know it's there. Just like these laws, we can't really see laws, universal laws, but we can see the effects the same way we can feel the effects of the sun, even though we can't see it for the clouds. So believe what you like, but if you keep an open mind in life, you will see that there are forces and powers greater than what we can explain happening every day in the world. Things happen, coincidences. Are there coincidences, coinciding incidences? Or are these somehow directed and guided by a power greater than ourself? Now that may contradict what I said, but not really. When I say a power greater than ourself or myself, what I mean is a power greater than my conscious mind, which we are all taught in school to use actually above anything else. Einstein said imagination is more powerful than knowledge. What are we taught in school? We're taught knowledge. We're taught memorization. We're taught to repeat things over and over. We're taught to think rationally, logically, and that has its place. But you will never get to the heights by using your logical, rational mind. There's a deeper mind, a universal mind. Many of the great scientists of all times, the great creators, the great inventors, talked of this universal mind that they would tap into. I was listening to a talk about Tesla last night. He said his ideas just came to him and he could put them together, his machine, his inventions in his mind, and he would put them down on paper and then create them exactly how he was told. Where did that come from? He didn't rationally think of that. He didn't use what he was taught in school to create that. He may have used some of the tools to, of course, to write down the letters, the numbers, and to draw pictures. But that came from somewhere else. Thomas Edison would do the same thing. He would hold a ball in his hand and he would think about his problem or a situation or what he needed to know. And he would doze off to sleep and the ball would fall out of his hand and it would wake him up. And then he would write down what came to him. Who was the guy that invented? There was another one that dreamed about snakes. And I'm not going to go into that because I can't remember what it is. But if you study it, look it up, all these greats spoke of some kind of universal mind, some kind of intelligence that they could tap into. And this is what has created everything in the world. The imagination is part of it. Everything that you see, and I've said this time and time again, repetition is the mother of invention. Everything you see was created within the mind of man, his imagination. He didn't sit down like they teach you at school and figure it out. Now, your rational and logical mind has its place, of course, but imagination is more powerful, and it will overrule logical, rational thinking every time if you tap into it. We're taught that imagination is almost silly. It's ridiculous. It's just your imagination. But yet that's one of the most powerful tools we have. And in relating to dating, if you can see it in your mind and take action when those intuitive urges come up, then you can have any girl that you want. But what do you do? What do you do? You have a desire within you to be with a woman, and that's a perfectly natural desire. But what do you do when you're out about and you see a beautiful woman? She's by herself. You think, man, I want to talk to her. Oh, you stop. Well, maybe she's got a boyfriend. She wouldn't want anything to do with me. There's your logical, rational mind that they taught you to use in school. The fear, the doubt, the doubting mind, keeping you from what you desire. You cannot run your life by logic and rationalization. Yeah, okay, there you go. But as I said, it has its place. You cannot let your emotions overrun your logic and your rationalization. Very important to remember that. As a man, you have to control it. And you do have control over it. But it has to be developed through discipline. So have some discipline today. Get up off your couch, out of your Cheeto dust, and go out there and take a walk. Get a little exercise. Because you're a three-part? Well, your mind, body, and spirit. Or metaphysical, if you like, or entity. however you choose to view it. That's what you are. So you got to exercise all of them. Meditation, exercise, reading, very good to read. You exercise your mind, the same as exercising your muscles. But most people aren't disciplined enough to do that. Pick up a book, read a page a day, and maybe tomorrow read 2 pages. Readers are leaders. That's it for today. I'm gonna go run. It's starting to get light outside. And as you can see, my light is not too good because I don't have natural daylight anymore. So I'm gonna go. Thanks for joining me. Take care and see ya later.